And now we turn to rare earth minerals. Most people have never seen them, but modern life cannot function without them. From smartphones to missiles, they are everywhere. And right now, control over these elements is sparking a global race. China dominates the supply chain, and that has left other governments scrambling. Malaysia is negotiating a joint project with China. Britain is moving toward a deal with Greenland, and the US is investing heavily in its own supply chain. So, is this the beginning of a new gold rush? Our next report explains.
The global race for rare earth elements is heating up, and fast. From China to Malaysia, from the United Kingdom to the icy landscapes of Greenland, nations are scrambling for control for the most critical materials of our time. These 17 rare metals power our smartphones, electric vehicles, wind turbines, batteries, and even next-generation defense systems. And now, they've become the heart of a new geopolitical tug-of-war. For years, China has held an unchallenged lead. Beijing mines the majority of the world's rare earths and refines nearly 90% of the global supply. That control gives China enormous leverage in the global economy. When Beijing tightens export controls or limits production, the ripple effects are immediate. Prices surge, factories stall, and governments panic. Now, as tensions rise between China and Western nations, the world is realizing just how vulnerable it has become. These are not just minerals. They are the backbone of the modern age, and whoever controls them controls the future. Reports now suggest that Malaysia is in talks with China to build a new rare earth refinery. If confirmed, the deal would strengthen China's already dominant refining network and further cement its influence in Southeast Asia. Malaysia, which already has its own rare earth reserves, sees this partnership as an economic boost, an opportunity to create jobs, attract investment, and gain technological know-how. But critics warn that such cooperation could make Malaysia even more dependent on Chinese supply chains and leave smaller nations with limited bargaining power. Meanwhile, across the globe, the United Kingdom is moving in the opposite direction. London is preparing a new minerals partnership with Greenland, one of the world's untapped frontiers for rare earth mining. Greenland's icy terrain holds significant deposits of neodymium and dysprosium metals critical for electric vehicle motors and renewable energy technologies. The partnership could mark a major step for Britain's post-Brexit industrial strategy, diversifying away from Chinese dominance while strengthening supply chains with trusted partners. But developing these resources won't be easy. Greenland's harsh environment, environmental concerns, and logistical challenges all pose steep hurdles. Around the world, governments are waking up. The United States, Japan, and the European Union have each launched initiatives to secure critical minerals. From new mining projects in Africa and Australia to recycling efforts and new refining technologies, the rare earth race is no longer just about economics. It's about security, sovereignty, and survival in a world increasingly powered by green technology. The rare earths beneath our feet are now as strategic as oil once was. And in this new energy era, control over these 17 elements could define the balance of global power. As China and Malaysia deepen ties, and the UK turns north to Greenland, one thing is clear: the competition for rare earths has entered a new phase. It's not just a race for resources, it's a race for the future. For more global insights and geopolitical updates, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. This is your channel name, bringing you the stories shaping tomorrow's world, today.
Have you ever wondered what makes your smartphone smart, your electric car run, or a wind turbine generate clean energy? The secret lies in a group of 17 obscure metals known as rare earth elements. They're the unsung heroes of our modern tech-driven world, essential for everything from tiny consumer electronics to massive defense systems. And right now, a fierce global competition for these critical minerals is heating up, reshaping international politics and supply chains as we speak. For decades, one country has held nearly all the cards in this high-stakes game, China. But the world is waking up, and new players are entering the arena, determined to shift the balance of power. Stick around as we unpack the great rare earths race and what it means for our future. So, how did one nation come to dominate such a critical global resource? Let's rewind a bit. The story of China's rare earth supremacy is one of strategic foresight, massive state investment, and, frankly, a willingness to bear the environmental costs that other nations weren't. Beginning in the 1980s, China began to scale its mining and processing capabilities at an astonishing rate. They understood early on that controlling these elements meant controlling the future of technology. While the rest of the world saw them as just another commodity, China saw them as a strategic asset. Today, China doesn't just mine the majority of rare earths. It refines nearly 90% of the entire global output. This gives Beijing incredible leverage. Think of it like this. It's not just about owning the oil wells. It's about owning all the refineries, too. This dominance became crystal clear when Beijing started using export controls, sending shockwaves through global markets and serving as a stark wake-up call for governments worldwide. This dependency has created a dilemma for many countries, and Malaysia is a prime example. The nation is caught in a delicate balancing act. On one hand, Malaysia has its own ambitions in the rare earth sector. It possesses significant reserves and sees an opportunity to climb the value chain, moving from simple mining to more lucrative processing and manufacturing. This could mean a huge boost for its economy and technological capabilities. However, developing this industry isn't simple. It requires immense capital and highly specialized technology, which is where the other side of the dilemma comes in. Recent reports suggest that Malaysia is in talks with none other than China to potentially build a new rare earth refinery. This partnership could provide the much-needed expertise and investment to kickstart Malaysia's ambitions. But it also raises serious questions. Would this move deepen reliance on the very country the world is trying to become less dependent on? It's a classic case of balancing economic opportunity against strategic risk, a tightrope walk that many nations are now facing in this new era of resource competition. The ripples of China's dominance are being felt far and wide, forcing a major rethink of global supply chains. For years, the mantra was efficiency at all costs. Companies sourced materials from wherever was cheapest, which often meant China. But the recent disruptions have exposed the fragility of this system. It's no longer just about cost. It's about resilience and security. A single policy change in Beijing can halt production lines in Detroit, Tokyo, or Berlin. This realization has triggered a global scramble to diversify. Governments are now actively stepping in, offering subsidies, streamlining regulations, and forging new alliances to build alternative supply chains from the ground up. This isn't just about finding new mines. It's about creating a complete mine-to-magnet ecosystem outside of China's control. This includes exploration, extraction, processing, refining, and manufacturing the final high-tech components. It's a colossal undertaking, a wake-up call that has finally been answered, pushing nations to collaborate in ways we haven't seen before. And that collaboration is leading to some fascinating new partnerships. Enter the new power players, the United Kingdom, Malaysia, and Greenland. It might seem like an unlikely trio, but their emerging roles are a perfect illustration of the new global strategy. The UK, for instance, is looking beyond its borders, leveraging its financial and diplomatic strengths. It's reportedly preparing a landmark minerals partnership with Greenland. Why Greenland? Because this massive, ice-covered island is sitting on what could be one of the largest untapped rare earth deposits in the world. Meanwhile, as we discussed, Malaysia is exploring its options, potentially leveraging its own deposits and strategic location in Southeast Asia to become a regional processing hub. These aren't isolated moves. They are calculated steps in a broader geopolitical chess game. Countries are forming new economic and security blocks centered around critical minerals, creating a multipolar world for rare earths where influence is more distributed and supply chains are more secure. This is the new frontier of resource politics. At the heart of many of these new strategies lies Greenland. This autonomous territory of Denmark holds a potential treasure trove that could fundamentally alter the global rare earths map. One deposit alone, Kvanefjeld, is considered one of the most significant in the world, containing a wide array of these critical elements. If developed, it could provide a stable, long-term supply to Europe and North America, drastically reducing their reliance on China. However, unlocking this treasure is fraught with challenges. There are immense environmental concerns. Rare earth mining can be a messy business, and in a pristine and fragile ecosystem like Greenland's, the stakes are incredibly high. The local population is divided, weighing the promise of economic prosperity and independence against the potential for irreversible environmental damage. The political debate in Greenland is intense, and the outcome will have global repercussions. Will Greenland's treasure be unlocked, shifting the global balance of power? Or will environmental and social concerns keep it locked beneath the ice? The world is watching. So where does this leave us? The era of a single dominant player in the rare earths market is being challenged. The global race is on, not just to dig new mines, but to build resilient, diverse, and sustainable supply chains for the materials that will power the 21st century. Nations like the UK, Malaysia, and Greenland are stepping onto the stage, creating a more complex and dynamic playing field. This competition is driving innovation in extraction and recycling technologies and forcing a much-needed conversation about the environmental and social responsibilities that come with mining these critical resources. The outcome of this great rare earths competition will define more than just our gadgets. It will shape the future of global trade, technology, and international relations for decades to come. The next time you pick up your phone or see an electric car glide by, remember the invisible global scramble that makes it all possible. Thanks so much for joining us on this deep dive into the world of rare earths. It's a topic that's only going to become more important in the years ahead. If you found this video insightful, please hit that like button and consider subscribing to our channel for more content that breaks down the complex forces shaping our world. Don't forget to ring the notification bell so you never miss an update. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think is the future of the rare earths market? Until next time, stay curious.